जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन बल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन बल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन जय ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीरा बनचारी यमन जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा राम हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ताय गुर हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गुर हरि बोल नित्य हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गुर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रभु श्रीमद ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नाम चरण से हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री गिरधारी शिवसती गौरविंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय नवदीप धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय गौर निताई की जय श्री श्री राधा गोलोक नंद की जय गौर प्रेमनंदी हरि हरि ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees all glories to assembled devotees all glories to assembled devotees all glories to Shri Guru and Garunga Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are continuing our reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 74, and today we are going to do verse 18. Sadasya graharanaraham vai vimarasnatha sabhasada vimarshanta sabhasada nadehi agacha anika nityat Sahadeva tada brave Sadasya graharahan rahim vai Vimarashta sabhasada Nadaya gacham anikani atat Sahadeva stada bravit Sadasya graharaha rahim vari Vimarshata shanta sabhasada Nadagachani anikanayat Sahadeva stadbravit Sadasya graharahan ramaravi Vimarashanta sabhasada Nadagachana anikanityat Sadeva stadbravit Tadagraham rahamai Vimanshanta sabhasada Nagachana niknayat Sahadeva stada bravit Sadasya grahamaramavai Vimanshanta sabhasada Nagachanam anikanatyat Sahadeva stada bravit Sadasya grahanaram Vishim Santa Sabhasada Nadaya Gachan Aniknachat Sahadeva Stada Bravit Sadasya Graharahamanabhayi. Sorry, it's okay. Yeah. Nadaya Gaya Chaniknatyat Sahadeva Stada Bravit. Word to word. Sadasya of the members of the assembly Agra, first, Arhana, worship, Arham, him who deserves, Vai, indeed, remember, Vimarashanta, pondering over, Sabha, in the assembly, Sada, who seated, those seated, Na Adagrachan, they could not come to a conclusion. Anik Antyayat, because of the great number of qualified candidates. Sadevaha, Sadev, the younger brother of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Tada, then Abhavrit spoke. Translation by the disciples of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now members of the assembly then pondered over who among them should be worshipped first, because since there are many personalities qualified for this honor, they were unable to decide. Finally, Sahadeva spoke up. Please repeat. The members of the assembly then pondered over who among them should be worshipped first. But since there were many personalities qualified for this honor, they were unable to decide. Finally, Sahadeva spoke up. Om Agyanataramidasya Agyananjana Salakaya Chakshur Itmlabina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Kabir Nityananda Shri Gadhar Shivasati Gaurtvinda. Vancha Kalpatribhyasya Kripa Sindhubheva Chapatita Nam Pavane Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Purport by the disciples of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada writes, another important procedure is that the most exalted personality in the assembly of such a sacrificial ceremony is first offered worship. This particular ceremony is called Agra Puja. Agra means first and Puja means worship. This Agra Puja is similar to the election of a president. In the sacrificial assembly, all the members were very exalted. Some proposed to elect one person as the perfect candidate for accepting Agra Puja, and other proposed someone else. As the great Acharya Jiva Goswami points out in text 15 of this chapter, states that the members of the assemblies were not astonished at the opulence of the sacrifice, since they knew that King Yudhishthira was a devotee of Lord Krishna. Still, text 18 now states that the assembly could not select the most deserving candidate for being worshipped first. This indicates that many of the Brahmanas present were not fully realized transcendentalists, but rather conventional Brahmanas, uncertain of the supreme conclusion of the Vedic wisdom. Similarly, Acharya Vishwanatha comments that the undecided members of the assemblies were less intelligent ones and not such exalted personalities as Brahma, Lord Shiva, Dayapana Vyasdeva, who thought, since today no one is asking our opinion, why should we say anything? Furthermore, here is Sahadeva, who is renowned for his sharp skill in analyzing all sorts of circumstances. He can help appoint the person who is to be worshipped first. Only if he somehow fails to speak or cannot understand the situation, will we speak up, despite no one's having inquired from us, having made up their minds in this way? The great personalities remain silent. This is how Vishwanath Chakraborty advises us to understand what occurred in the assembly. So it's perfectly clear. There's so many personalities sitting in the audience, and now the question is, who should be worshipped first? It's Agra Puja. Should be Agra Puja. Anyhow, I will read from Tikas, Goswami's Tikas, just to, it's the same point, but I will repeat it anyways. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur again. Among the assembled persons, those in the assembly who were less intelligent couldn't decide who should be selected as the first to be worshipped because of the presence of many qualified persons. This, however, was not true of the highly intelligent persons such as Brahma, Vyasdeva, and others. Since we were not asked, how could we say Sahadev, who was well known for being wise in examining everything, is authorized for worship? If he does not speak or does not know what to say, even if not asked, we will say, considering in this way, they remain silent. So most of these personalities, which were very, very qualified Brahmanas, nobody wanted to speak first, they didn't know. Because there were so many exalted people, like Brahma and so many other, Vyasdeva and Bhishma Pitama and so many others, Jiva Goswami on this. Though they were most intelligent and considered carefully, they could not decide on who should be worshipped first, since there were many great persons present. The foolish people had many doubts in their mind and could not decide. The wise people had disagreements because of various opinions with persons like Shishupal in the assembly. See, there are all kinds of people. Now there is Shishupal also, so he had to comment. There are always people who will be opposed to whatever being. See, that's about assembly, It's a free will. They can propose anyone who they like that they should be worshipped first, Krishna had the desire to wash everyone's feet. So that's how Krishna was thinking, okay, he should be. He wasn't not considering himself in number one, So Sahadeva then spoke. Later it's mentioned that Sahadeva worshipped the guest, Srimad Bhagavatam's 10.74.4. This he spoke up because of qualifications and also because of devotion to Krishna. Same thing, Sanatana Goswami, I can go to here. Okay, so now let's try to understand the context of this verse. So what's happening? Rajsuya, sacrifice of Maharaj Yudhishthira is happening. So this is a big, big ceremony where that they are doing this sacrifice. And according to Vedic custom, in such a great assembly, one exalted person must receive what is called Agra Puja, means first who should be worshipped, so it's very important, who should be worshipped in such a big assembly. And so the first worship is the biggest honor, and but now assembly included who? Great kings, all kings were there. There were sages, there were demigods, there were brahmanas, there were warriors, there were Bhishma Pitamaha, the eldest personality, and exalted personalities like Dronacharya, Vyasdeva. So it's this assembly full of. So in a way, all these people are very exalted. It's not, they were, tiny, minor. Bhishma Pitama, look at that. One after other, they were very, very exalted people. Vyasdeva, who wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, all that. So this is very exalted people. No wonder. Everyone was silent, looking at each other who should be offered to be first to receive this honor of worshipping first puja. So you can see everyone is very exalted. And Sahadeva is youngest of Pandavas. See, there are Pandavas. Out of all these brothers, Sahadeva is the youngest, So, but he's very wise and intelligent, so he thought to speak up. So, so now, because these were great personalities, now Bhishma Pitama, he is the greatest because of his renunciation. So what did he do, Bhishma Pitama? He renounced kingdom. For what? That he won't even marriage, because his father wanted to marry some lady, and whose lady's father said that her sons should be the heir to the throne, So he took this vow, great vow, that he will remain celibate, he will never marry, and he has no aspiration for the kingdom or throne, and he will even protect this kingdom. Whosoever sits on that, who governs, whosoever governs, so he will be supporting that. So he took this, pratigya means great commitment throughout life. He won't do this. Throughout life, he won't do anything but to protect the kingdom, and he will never marry, and he will remain celibate or whatever. So that was a big, few people can do it. So he's known for his great renunciation. That way, Now next to him was Vyasdeva. Vyasdeva is a great sage. He's known for his knowledge. So how could he be not big guy, he is the one who wrote Vedas, he divided Vedas, he wrote Mahabharata, he compiled Puranas, and he presented Vedant Sutra, and material and spiritually speaking, these are not ordinary scholars compared to anyone else, so they are great people, no doubt, So not only that, after compiling all Vedic literature, Vyasdeva still felt dissatisfied until instructed by Narad Muni directly to glorify Krishna's devotion and Krishna's pastimes. He hasn't written, that's why he wasn't satisfied. So ultimately, he has to write Srimad Bhagavatam for the glorification of who? Lord Krishna, So basically, he knows, even he approaches Krishna in the end, same thing. If you look at even Bhishma Pitama, in the end, he was lying on the bed of arrows, right? And what he was thinking, at the end, he was actually meditating on Krishna, and not his own greatness, because he knew that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the devotion should be to Krishna, So even these great people, Bhishma Pitama, he's looking towards who? Krishna. Similarly, Vyasdeva, at the end, at the advice of Narad, he hadn't written the glories of the Lord, so he who is going towards Krishna again. Then now there is another personality sitting there whose name is Indra. Now Indra is a great personality. Everyone knows he is he's in charge of heavens, he controls rains, and he has big armies, celestial armies, and he has enormous opulence. He has so much wealth, and so he's a demigod who is very, very rich and very, very powerful, and he controls rains and everything, all that, But look at that. His pride was also broken by who? Krishna. Because what he did, he brought in rains. He wanted to destroy Vrindavan, And ultimately, Indra had to bow down, because Krishna held this Govardhan hill for so many days on his pinky finger, So, and also the turbulent air and all that. You can have even this, the flow of air and rain and all that. I mean, so Krishna did that and protected the inhabitants of him. So now, so he had to bow down too. I mean, he's such a, I mean, powerful demigod, but still he has to bow down to Krishna, And then there were kings, they were very good also in Vedic culture, And they were kings who knew they were protecting their areas and citizens and cows and social order. There were kings like Yudhishthira. I mean, he is one of the biggest kings, Dharmaraj, who never speaks lies, He rules by dharma, means with proper law and orders, so he doesn't deviate, so he's a great personality. Parikshit Maharaj, I mean, he ruled also, I mean, by Vedic injunctions. I mean, Parikshit Maharaj is a great devotee also. I mean, he was protected by Krishna within the womb of Uttara, So then there is Prithu Maharaj sitting there. So all these people are glorious, But yet, Bhagavatam, what is teaching us is that anyone who may have fantastic kingdom or may have many political power or whatever, and the worldly influences are temporary. Everything is temporary. It's not permanent. Because even emperor has to die. So he has to lose everything at the point of death. So he might be very opulent, very high position and authority and whatever. I mean, even these big kings, I mean, at the end of the life, they have to surrender to the will of Krishna that is in the form of death. So you can see that all these protections are not enough, because mostly each person has some kind of greatness, It's not that everyone is dumb. Every living entity has some kind of traits, but they are in very, very minute quantity. That's the thing, So the thing is, they have little knowledge, they have little power, they have little leadership, they have little renunciation, all these, but all these opulences are complete in Krishna, not to minute. In Krishna, it's totally complete, So we can see, Now, we know that Krishna possesses everything, all wealth, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, all renunciation, but other possesses the same thing in very tiny, minute quantity. So it's very, I mean, it's obvious that Krishna is the one should be doing the first puja, But some people, when Brahmas and all these Indras are sitting there, they think they are the most important people, right? That's how it is, when they're looking at each other, okay, who should, I mean, in the heart they are thinking, oh, it should be me, I should be the one doing Agra Puja, So it's just amazing, So all these personalities whosoever, I mean, these few examples, ultimately they surrender to who? Krishna. Ultimately, I mean, so this was obvious, but now Sahadeva was very intelligent people, personality, So he was able to foresee that, and then he spoke up in this silence that Krishna should be the one. So, but some people didn't like, I mean, like you will see later on, there were people who didn't like that decision, and especially, what's his name? Oh boy, forgetting the name. One person. Anyhow, it will come back to me. Like who Krishna killed, one, Shishupal. See, sometimes my brain doesn't work, Shishupal. So anyhow, so that's what it is, Now Krishna's opulences are very well known, Like in 10.8 Bhagavad Gita, what is Krishna says? Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta parvam sarvam parvatate iti matva bhajante mam bodha bhava samanvita. He says, this is 10.8. Easy to remember, 108. So very important shloka. 108 is 108th shloka. And which says, Krishna says, I am source of all spiritual and material worlds. You have to remember that, every devotee. That 108 shloka, it says, I am source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. So everything is coming from Krishna. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service. The people who are very intelligent know this, and what they do, they are worshipping me, they are doing service to me, and it's called devotional service. With their heart, they are worshipping me. I mean, they are trying to please me. So it's very important shloka, this 108. That's how I remember it. Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, 8th shloka. So it's very important. So in the assembly they couldn't decide. I mean, who is Samit? So here it's very clear. Bhagavad Gita concludes. Actually, Krishna gives knowledge finally that hey guys, if you don't know anything, look here. You should be worshipping. This is for your benefit, not Krishna's benefit. I mean, Krishna doesn't care. It's for benefit of us. Krishna is speaking. He spoke Bhagavad Gita so that people like us can go back to Godhead, He was so kind, It's just amazing, So here, I mean, Sahadeva, anyhow, he took the courage and he spoke. Among these big personalities, he took, he has the guts to do it, So that's why he represents pure devotional intelligence, Though he is the youngest of the Pandavas, but spiritually speaking, he was quite advanced because all these Pandavas were very elevated souls. Why? Because they interacted with Krishna many, many times, not one time, many times throughout their life. So they were very special, Now, Sahadeva very well understood, that all worship accumulates in for Krishna, and all sacrifices are for Krishna, and all honor should belong to, ultimately, to who? Krishna. So he understood, like devotees actually are not bewildered by the material prestige, People who are very advanced in spiritual knowledge, like ordinary people may be intimidated by people who is famous. People will go run after him and try to be famous, take a picture next to him or whatever they do, People in power, people in scholarship, So they will just try to go after them, run after them. And but devotee is not bewildered, So basically we should look who is the supreme, where we can. And Srila Prabhupada used to write, that a leaf is not nourished by just watering the leaf. You have to water the root. So if you pour water in the root, all the leaves are nourished, Similarly, body is nourished by feeding the stomach, not by feeding finger or whatever. So you cannot do that. Similarly, so Krishna should be honored because he's the source of everything. So one has to understand that, Now, this verse also reveals a difference between diplomacy and truth, They thought if we honor this king, another king may be offended. I mean, that happens, right? If I please this guy, the other guy will be sorry, And if we honor this sage, then other sage is not very happy. So that's our material conditioning, So we do that, But Sahadeva spoke the truth, absolute truth, without fear, So So Prabhupada said, we must speak the truth. Devotee speaks the truth about Krishna consciousness. Even the world disagrees. I mean, many people will disagree with us, and we should always follow the dharma, speak the truth wherever we can. In some circumstances, maybe not, but use our intelligence to do the right thing, Now, there are people who are always against it, and one of them was Shishupal, and he became furious immediately, after he said, oh, Krishna should go. Oh, no, he was just not very happy, So ultimately Krishna kills him, because there were many other people trying to grab him because they knew. But then, if you look at his life, like he was Jain Vijay, or one of those, so he was doing his Leela, and I think he was trying to go out of the material suffering as soon as possible. So he knew what he was doing, That's why he was trying to blaspheme Krishna so that he can get out, and get the blessings of Krishna very fast, So he was just cursing. So he knew that if I curse, Krishna will just take me out. So, but Shishupal was there. So there are all kinds of things, And now you can see, like, we have to be very careful, what we do. This now Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam janvante jnanvanam mam prapade vasudeva sarveti samatma cha durlabham. So after many, many births, one who surrenders up to Krishna, knowing that Krishna is everything, that realization Sahadeva had, So that's what he did. He immediately said that Krishna should be. So if we know that, even if we know after many births that who is Krishna, so that's a big deal. So it's the people who know Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead means he is very exalted already. He's already Mahatma. This verse says, I am not saying. This verse says, Bahunam janma ante jnanvanam mam prapadyate. After many, many births. Not one birth, many, many births. So you don't even realize Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But one who knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead means he is Mahatma. He has all the knowledge. Just knowing Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if we know that, yes, of course, we will surrender. Do everything we must. So that's very, very important, But in modern society, people worship who? Politicians, celebrities, scientists, wealthy men, athletes, beautiful people. So that's our vision of being, asking who is supreme, who is our, what you call, our point, who is our, what you call, idol, in that sense, to live by in this material world, So one has to realize that this, the Krishna, is the Supreme Personality of God, and he has all honor, should receive all honor. He has all the wealth. He is the one who should be receiving all this. And the person who knows the Supreme Personality of God is Krishna. And if they engage in service, then this society will become peaceful, because everyone is engaged in a proper way, So basically, a sense of this verse is that Krishna is not merely one great person out of many. One shouldn't judge that way, So we have to see who Krishna is, understand it. He is the source of all, everything, like I was saying. Aham sarvasya prabhu. I am the source of everything. Then Krishna also says, Mata paratramna anyat. There's nobody. Mata paratram anyat kinchad asti dhananjaya. Like, not at all. There is nobody above me. So you forget, so don't even fear, So Krishna says, So Krishna is the source of everything, and later on, not only that, Vyasadeva wrote all this in Srimad Bhagavatam, everything in Bhagavad Gita. It's said again and again. This knowledge is said again and again in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all this knowledge is given in that gate, who held the supremacy of Krishna. So Krishna is the topmost, and we should realize that. And that's why Vyasadeva has written all these scriptures so that we can understand. But when we are intoxicated by our power, position, wealth, beauty, and so many other opulences, we forget. Then you become the top point person. So you want to control everything. You want to be in charge of everything. So that's how our material nature is. And why it is that we behave that way? Because we are part of Krishna. We are very tiny part of. So we have all those qualities, but in a very tiny. And so we tend to behave that way, that, we are eternal, because nobody wants to die, because our soul is eternal. And we think, okay, we are eternal too. But yes, your soul is eternal, but your body is not eternal. So because we are part and parcel of Krishna, so we tend to think that we are also like Krishna. Yes, you might be in a very minute, but you are fallible, because that's why you are in this material world, because you want to lord over the material things. So Krishna created this material universe. You can lord it over, enjoy like me, because you're envious there in their spiritual places, then you go down and do whatever you must do and enjoy for yourself. All those opulences you think I'm enjoying. So he sends them to this material world, so to enjoy all these so-called opulences what Krishna has. So if you are envious in spiritual world, Krishna sends you down. So that's how we are here, That so we are not. Now Sahadeva is, you can see, he's the one of the Pandavas, his son of Madhuri, he was blessed by Ashwini Kumaras, and so he was very exalted. Now, if you look at even Pandavas, they are very, very blessed, Now, Yudhishthira, Dharmaraj, his religious wisdom, he carries, Bhima. Look at these Pandavas. He has all the strength, one of the very strong people, and look at Arjuna, his devotion to Krishna and his heroism, Nakula, he has beauty and skills, and Sahadeva, what does he have? Deep intelligence and wisdom. So that's what he carries, and he's specially known for spiritual understanding. He's expert in astrology, he's expert in diplomacy, and he has subtle insight of the spiritual elements. This was at the time of death of his Pandu that he had this realization, So now Sahadeva has big realization, He is a pure devotee. He is free from envy. He is humble. He is surrendered to Krishna, and Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tesham sat yuktanam bhajtam priti purvatkam dadami buddhi yogantam ye mam apyanti. This is 10.10. To those who are constantly devoted, serving me, with love I give understanding by which they can come to me. So what do you think all this knowledge is coming? All these thoughts are coming. Scientists are very proud that they did what they did. But all these thoughts are coming from Krishna. Sorry. Hari Bol. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Sorry, I always go over and just not. Golkananda ki Jai.
Aniyasa sakalen Priya Priti Manti Pasyanti Panti Kayanti Giram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Amaham Bhajami 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 Govindam Adi Purusham.
Namaho Vishnu Jaya Krishna Prasthaya Putale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Namani Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Kormani Vachar Nivasaya Shah Shunyavadi Paschachati Tarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaurata Brenda Shri Krishna Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaurata Brenda Jai Shri Krishna Nirana Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaurata Brenda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gorakhanana Gorakhanana Radhe. Nayat Gorakhanana Gorakhanana Radhe. Nayat Hey Radhe Radhe Nayat Hey. Naya Radhe 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 Naya Radhe. Jai Om.
Reminder to everyone that we'll be having Harinam Sankirtan tomorrow at 5 Points in Durham from 5 to 7. It's going to be a beautiful day, so please come out and help benedict all the people coming out to the restaurants and clubs at that time. And we wish Bir Krishna Maharaj a safe journey today. He's going to Europe. Chaitodarpanam marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Pranamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Gardenia Heaven. Sarva Shaktis Tatrapitani Amita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjanina Anuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amanina Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajakadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktiro Haitaki Twayi Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitamam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripayata Vabada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajuchim Vachintaya Nayanam Gadashu Daraya Vadanam Gad Gaduradaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishyava Padamritam Anastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yata Tata Vidadatu Lampato Mat Pranatastusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so. Even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me brokenhearted by not being present before me, he is completely free to do anything and everything, for he's always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
Okay. So it's amazing. The deities addressed by Sundari this morning, and she collected the flowers, arranged for the garlands. It's like a gardenia festival. You know, Krishna says of all the seasons, I'm flower-bearing spring. So Krishna's proving it to us here and through Sundari's devotion. It's amazing. So here in New Goloka, we have a lot of second and third generation devotees who are doing deity service. It's pretty nice. So, let's see, anything else? Oh, I'll be leaving. We welcomed Pajratna and Tita Guna yesterday. And, Bhakti Mimi's joined us here. We want to welcome her to New Goloka. And who else? What's your name?